You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Become more and more crowded. Broken air.
There are Nigerians who are reliable power.
One day, one way or the other,
needed to make informed decisions is
said by our people. Come and speak on their behalf.
the situation relations about politics,
The president must know that this
policies,
is a
leadership, and governance in Nigeria and around the world. Join us every Mondays through Fridays. Stability and public engagements. The situation.
Program for Insight, and we have an of Nigerian workers, especially those as to administration or the National Labour Congress have been alarming allegation that the staggering 50% deduction had been made from the contributory that is made by employers. I think about maybe 2% of your monthly income. So they put it in that happens to them that they cannot work for a period of now. There were reports that 50% widespread discussions among that is supposed to safeguard their financial security. The whole point of the contributory pension scheme is to make sure that once a person is out of service, they're not on the house, that the deducted funds will be refunded, and further so that this kind of situation doesn't happen again, where their pension be paid. Mrs. Fumi Sᴜssɪ, she's the chair in Nigeria. We're looking at the way. Let's talk about fair working anymore. Can you talk to protest and
that the slogan for we know that the time to suffer that service, the way that is due to you as a graduate. Thank God for the contributory pension scheme. Even with the contributory for their parents and documents, that is when
there was a more that was more recent scheme basis to the recommend that that is it. Or
the implementation is the issue. Defined benefit scheme meant to the extent that those who are immocular are also supposed to go home if you are doing this coca that has worked gratuity. That gratuity is like contributory benefit from the gratuity.
Would you say member of the workforce in the country and of course labor private workforce and the public workforce, would you say that this problems usually problem? Do you believe so?
Is the who work and we have an act enacted on the minimum wage. It's the same way that we also have a look in the private sector. You must have is able either in the private or public sector not to remit. All workers is supposed to have a contributory pension plan so that when they are even leaving the work or they are retiring, we
are having a conversation about the pension fund administration in a refund has been promised by we have Comrade Chief Mrs. Fumi Sᴜssɪ, who's I think in 2023 some financial instrument was introduced that 50% will be leaders. Is that the NSITF is not a revenue generating a body, is not for revenue generation. It's supposed to be a system that saves money for when work is such that the government will be able to make a 50% deduction. Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Against that particular their work that they are not going to continue in that state. So they are backtracked as it is indeed not right.
What do you make of the allegations that fund management there and most of the pensions or they are not getting some sort of hanky-panky in?
I want to notice that and change your PFA.
Okay.
You can take their money. It was still the to get there. We had a turbulence, and the mission is now being resolved so that they can continue
on accountability
of Nigeria is about there should be more transparency, evidence. So they have to take the PSA to the court that they want the dependent But with my such a process of like 2 years, the administrative personnel, very, very big issue. And the corruption that is still embedded in our society, industry concerned that is their money safe.
I think that NLC had mission PENCOM, a failure to constitute the government PENCOM supposed to play
that it's like NUC, like and everybody might be doing just within the voice to ensure that so that the best practice is renewal activity. So the point why they are very critical. We need to depend on as I say, we look every. So
lawyers are actually putting in your own bid, that is expected of contributing their own part in the contributory pension.
Remember, you have your payment or what you have with them. Every month you have, every month. And then from there you can report them. Pension contribution is a grievous thing for any employer of labor not to remit either their own part, taken to court, and the future of the workers. Okay, fast forward. All the spreadsheet of your money, what comes in and what goes out, payments, then follow that deduction. So you must have a spreadsheet where you call payment from your PFA, and they have to notify you of what comes in and your total is good as every month on monthly basis. You can also ask for your
comrade. Let's talk about some of the things that public servants allegedly have had to go as far as maybe forging their age so after they retire they would be able to enjoy any benefit, and so they're trying to work because they have no trust in the welfare that will be afforded to them once they retire. Have you heard of these allegations, and what have
different organizations of studies, and in their condition of studies are measured that if you forge possible payments, they ask you to submit your age declaration mentioned now and to the person that did this. This is an act of fraud. Place where I work, if you falsify your age, that is dismissal before the contributory pension scheme. Probably all the money that you have contributed, this is the worst thing. When your appointment is not ideal for people to start changing this is your age. It's useful because now we are the other day matter. You now want to skip the people because the game is already on. So what I do. And you know that even in the YS now, when you are writing your YS, you have to put your age in the YS. So the certificate will fortify your age and they will not find out.
I know that is supposed to be cash at the end of the month, but they are used to do something tangible for a house that part of your pension just continue giving cash on a monthly basis as we currently do.
Make your choice. In fact, there is a PFA that will give you opportunity if you want to have interest on your permission on that. You know, that you want them to use your money, give them the percentage they are going to give you on the money that they are going to use.
That the government has deduction, but generally for pension policies in the country, are you optimistic that the government are going to make things better? A future projection?
Well, we are things that have to go and understand it. All the abroad, we are going to import struggle in many ways. In abroad, the reason I say that our pension is far from our expectation is that you pay taxes to government. When you retire, you are in it. If you know that what they are giving you is getting them, if you are owner of businesses, you know when you are paying the same percentage from United Kingdom government, you pay tax and then you also pay this and import goods without adding corruption to our best, and that's what I can see.
All right, we'll talk with you. And hopefully, when some sort of agreement has been made with the government regarding the money that has been deducted, we can have you join us again to talk as we have with Comrade Chief Mrs. Funmi Sᴜssɪ of the recent NLC protests, who are asking why 50% was deducted from the NSITF. That is more or less like a social security percent of your monthly income. They're supposed to put it inside this fund. So in the event that somebody gets an injury, say you work in the factory, right, as needed, what your employer does is they withdraw fund from that particular. This was in because of the law, government revenue, not a business. It's a contribution, is like a store of resources, revenue generating agency, and they should not be 50% deductions for, well, we take a U-turn, we apologize, we will put the money back, and we will not deduct any money from that scheme again. On strike, the governing body for PENCOM must be instituted. It is a sad thing to see 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds who have to hold placards under the sun begging that their pension be paid, working 35 years. They're 60, they've worked 35 years, and upon retirement, they are entitled to this payment. And that's why I asked my guest, would you have preferred the former system, the defined benefit scheme, where, for example, the system is that before you get your payout, it might take years. So you see some people who are waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 years for their lump sum to be paid to them. Hence why we saw the contributory pension scheme, that from that account will be given to you. You would be able to look at it, how much is in it. A certain million naira to a person upon retirement, and then they squander it because 10 million naira might seem like a lot of money. And so the whole idea of the contributory pension scheme and giving out the money can help them maintain their quality of life. I can't believe I even forgot to act as dead the list of those who were eligible to, of course, get. He found out that his name has, and somebody within that system was taking him. Imagine finding out that somebody within a structure that is supposed to protect you after you slaved and worked for 35 years, somebody had manipulated the system, listed you. I do not know if the perpetrator was convicted or made to pay for the crime. I don't really have information about that, but he did get his money back. They paid him back a backlog of all the money that individual had siphoned from him. Now, if you are a pensioner, or your mom, your dad is a retiree, right, and they probably have suffered some sort of challenge in accessing their pension, number to dial 0913-6000. Let's have a conversation about pension administration in Nigeria. Good afternoon. Hi.
Are you? Okay, my name is Robert. Sage, the question I would like to ask is that instead of it should be 50, because somebody is retired, like I retired now. Your PFA will pay you 25%.
And they start paying you little by little the rest of the month.
They will pay you 50. The question is that why can't we 50% will be paying you?
Okay.
That's the question.
Hello. The WhatsApp line is 091360000410. No, what's 0? That's the WhatsApp line. But for text messages, so do well to join the conversation on our social media platform. Call us and talk to us about their experience. Are you currently retired? And if you wanted something to be done differently, or if you had the power to make something done differently.
The whole process to me.
So tell me your name, please.
Not good enough. Honestly, to be sincere, at the age of 60, I've not been paid anything. They have not even been called for recommendation. Money is losing its values every day.
Okay, I want to make contribution. Before in 2014, I was giving 2007. The years we worked. So we were just giving party sum of money.
So what would you like to be done differently?
When you have served before this law, then you will not see that people who are enlisted without they will not come out with this party sum. This is why you see strike here and there from others.
Here is the number to dial. We have WhatsApp. We're talking about pension fund treated better. This is because 50% was deducted from the NSITF. And although the plight of retirees in Nigeria, why are old people, 15 years do we need to put in place for the well you retire, you live a good life? And also we realize that the consequences of failures of system leads to things like earn anything, and their quality of life would depreciate significantly, and they think to themselves, well, what can I do to their age? They need to work more to save money. What can we do to take care of?
Peter calling from Barega.
Welcome.
Thank you. I've been following this discussion. What? They are retired. Is that how it's done in other parts of the world? Looking to the pension of the salary of the workers. Because the ordinary workers are the ones that do every work. Look at what that man said. The last 81% of the work up to today. If I have the will, that is it. Thank you.
This scheme has just been working. Not pension arrangement. That is a concern. Do you think it's best, or would you rather we go back to the defined you retire? That's the right word. Your concern was people were squandering, fraudsters, and so in the at the end of every month, of course, you get a lump sum. 20 usually would do. Which one of this recommendation do you think is best? Would you prefer the defined benefit, or you think this contributory pension scheme where you pay some, your employer pays one, you pay some, your employer pays one, and then upon retirement at the end of every month you're given a certain amount of money to take care of yourself? What would be? This is Mainland FM. Good evening to you, sir. Turn down the volume on your radio, please.
Okay, I've done that. This Mr. Charles talking to me, Mr. Charles Amadi.
Thank you.
You are really suffering. The first and foremost, the policy is a good policy. It's a good policy that better, like you rightly said. So the payment of the census matters a lot. But what I want to see is that the implementation. Okay, look like now, the federal government increased the federal pensioners' efforts aside. They increased the federal government pensioners with 32,000 each. But we contributing pension. What do you want to buy with it?
Hold on, you get 13,000 on.
You see, I'm not informed what we are seeing this month that have a stipend of 12 me to. Some really need to put all on this. What about me contributing this? We are dying in hunger. We are just dying too. Please. That's my take.
If we hear from the horse's mouth, it helps us make sense of what's going on. So it's not like we're just drawing data out of thin air. We can actually hear from the horse's mouth to tell us what their experience is, what should be the solution now. But yeah, if you work in the private sector, what sort of arrangement should be made? What sort of reform should happen within the pension?
Madam Speech?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, this is she's a retired. She doesn't reason. Before it's my own day when they allocated a life and things I just want to recommend. One, they should increase 25% of the thing. There was the honesty in the back when they were talking about the government and thing, and thinking at which they will be getting it. Because even all these pension all these pension things, so they need complete overhauling.
Administration in Nigeria. Hello. So do you mind? I can hear myself. Can you turn down the radio or turn it off, please?
Can I go on now?
Yes, please.
Once and for all. That is the best thing, the best way. The idea of giving retirees their money once and for all after retirement. Good evening.
Be the next line of action. Now, we're not reverting or going back to the defined payment. It's something that would have to take compared to when people are getting their money.
Oh my God.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's already and family members. The quantum, you check their pastry. The take home, and the allowed to what happen. So that even if you take only 1 million this time around, no state actors and goes reduce corruption to the bad attitude, especially from all these civil servants and politicians.
Maybe they are doing what they are receiving what they are working. It's an aberration. Good afternoon.
All right. So if your parents are retirees and you want to talk currently have in terms of a pension fund administration in Nigeria, what counts accessibility to their monies? Hello? Okay. Back.
Yes, please, I want to make a contribution to the issue of this pension scheme.
Yes, please, go ahead.
There are two types of pensions. They earn monthly salaries after their retirement. Then they prepare to they die. But if the new pension scheme, their salaries will not be much because they pay them envelope. So when you receive the money at the end of the day, you keep paying them a particular amount of money to that amount they have contributed in the service. If you enter at a 3,000 from the job they are doing, so that is why you come. They actually not treat you person as well. Because they claim that they use part of the money to trade for them and own interest. In the place of the government money they are taken away by and other people.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm a pensioner. I retired from Lagos State service 8 years ago. And I was not able to collect any dime during my own surprise. So my take home when I was at work was close to 300,000. But now I'm pensioner, I'm earning 6,000 naira. Since then, we've been paying that church with their making Nigeria. If I read that shopping, and I belong to the Union of Prayer, and the principal as well as work. So I don't know if the government can do DBS, how we divide benefit of people.
Insight. It is indeed a tale of woes, honestly. I'm going to, and I don't even know if I'm to laugh about. Benjamin Ise on Facebook sent a message, says, "Good evening, Sage. To me, I find it difficult to collect his or her monthly. Only God knows how much to governors and presidents who only serve for it, and it's a pity." Benjamin from Shogun there with a message on Facebook. Kim especially hasn't helped with retirees. I'm a retiree and I can specifically say that only 25% of the contributory pension scheme does not work with the current economic situation. Let those who have the law to be repealed or revised at least, because this is a law. So if you can do that again, and that's why I'm asking the question, if you had the option of choosing to be paid a lump sum one time, you get getting. So let's know what exactly you would prefer or what you would consider to be the solution to retirees, those who are collecting pension, or if your parents are retirees and have died as a result of this very sad. If you have good stories to tell as well. Hello, good evening. All right.
And bank. You can't do anything tied to service. I slice my salary into two, and I begin to now. I have not finished that house. That is the only thing I can tell you. I enjoy the service. And I have a brother. He has 1,000 under saved for 35 years. You end up in the street.
Hoping that at least we would hear somebody that had something good to say about the contributory pension arrangement, has a good story. If you have a good story, we would find the problem. What would your recommendation be? Instead of cash payment, you can get your does it have to be cash? What do you think about asset, your retirement benefits paid to you in form of asset? Would that make things welcome, Said?
Yeah, please. My take is that, though I'm not 40 yet, but I have a pension should, in the first now be trying to. So you understand?
I'm with you.
But I would have that they without the
Good evening to you, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you. Concerning this contributing thing, I'm a retiree. It's not unfair. While I take care of my future, I will just to do this business. And in those days, they buy these gadgets for you. and they start deducting this money from your pension. Since they are your pension bill that, like the other man said, when you retire, if you're fortunate, like mine now, it is 1,000 a day. No. If I calculate what I'm being given, less than 1,000 naira for a meal a day. That is it. That is 900 naira or 900 and something naira. Get a freezer. I've not been able to access loan. I've not been able.
Would you have preferred that?
Yes, it would have been better.
Okay.
At least you know that you are. That if you don't handle it well, that is the end. Okay. So what is happiness in it? Something like loan from the bank, while they use our money to meet up there. My dear brother, my dear sister, our own around us. That I can. It is well, my sister.
That's all I can message. Cղᴇ from his paid 2,000 naira, and I saw old people lining up under the hot sun and rain till he died. This country is not right. The from Isolo. I'm sorry about your dad. Go home to die after retirement. The way you could tell me, David Afolabi okay. Since that is he okay or okay? I would assume it's okay. It's the author. Okay, I don't think I can read this. The 5-6 other countries, even the United Kingdom does it, right? That people that is a country disability checks. They get disability checks. So if you as an old person, maybe you register as a disabled person, care systems, what we have, they're very heavy on insurance. Everybody has, and so your health is covered, your feeding is covered. If you oftentimes enjoy the benefit of the contributory system in the country, even during the course of the interview, nobody has any differently for me. I'm getting money at the end of the month and I'm living a fine life. Nobody has said that, and so revise the law and maybe consider going back to title to what 20 million naira. You get your 20 million and then you're gone. Going on, but I know that my grandmother was able to build a house then. She still has very beautiful house. You start a business and you start to make decent profit, or you go into a profit as opposed to 25%, and there should be some sort of help from the government. So it's something of the sort, like an augmentation that the government can do to support you. So this message before we slowly start to wrap up the conversation for today. So good evening, Mainland FM. Why have the retirees not been able to call the Nigeria Labour Congress to discuss things for a period of 8 years? Meanwhile, workers work for 30 days, threatening to strike if there's no review. First of all, the reconstitution of a governing body trying, doing a lot right now, negotiating to ensure that pensioners are catered to. But the fear is that a lot of negotiations have happened with the labor body and situate that pensioners are afforded the dignity that they deserve after working 35 years of their life. And this is a good place to actually wait for the negotiations between the labor union and the federal government, right? And whatever the outcome is, which is like, and what conclusions were reached with the federal government and the labor body. And to retirees out there, we love you and we support you, and we are so sorry that this is the experience that you have to live. Those who are out of service, everybody deserves a right to dignity. You should not, with gray hair, be living like a pauper. We should have a system that caters to old people as much. Tomorrow is another opportunity to talk on the Situation Room. They should be here, will be here for Situation Room at tomorrow. At 5:30 we would read the news, 10, and at 10 p.m. we'll have Lights Out Lagos until tomorrow morning at 7 for the news. Thank you so much for coming along with us once again. You have a beautiful evening. We'll be back in another 5 minutes for the news at 5:30.